Welcome to episode 9 of our first season of the BullensMagic Podcast, alongside my co-host, Rebecca Osowski. Seth Dussault here, the voice of the Westfield Starfires. Rebecca, before we get into our episode, it's All-Star Week. Bright lights in New Britain. 7 of our guys going down there to play in the game. We've got one going in the home run derby as well. What are you expecting between Team Goldstein and Team Lara?
Oh, I think it's cool when you can put all these guys together that have really shown what they can do this year. And I'm looking forward to a good game and great competition. And overall, I just hope the guys have fun as we get towards the playoff push and the more competitive nature of the games.
Well, one person for whom competitive nature is not in question is the guest on our podcast today, Justin Sinibaldi. You've obviously gotten to see him pitch quite a bit. Very intense, but a lot of fun at the same time. What's the thing that stands out the most to you about Justin?
Oh, I don't know. I think he's great on the mound, as we're going to hear him talk about today, but just his attitude, he's so loose all the time and just a fun guy to be around. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he has to say about his time in Westfield and what makes him who he is.
And so without further ado, we will get right into it. Our BullensMagic Podcast guest is Justin Sinibaldi here. And joining us now from Rutgers, from the Starfires, the Futures League All-Star, it's Justin Sinibaldi. Justin, how are we doing today?
Good, how are you?
Living the dream. Got a lot to cover because you've had a fantastic season for us here, but let's start at the beginning as we always do. How did you first get into playing baseball, and how did you first get into pitching specifically?
Baseball, I'd probably say my dad. I mean, from the beginning, he's always just kind of been that sport for me and him. Since I was little, we always just used to play catch and go to the field and hit. And then pitching is a little different. I always pitched, I guess, but I was never really focused on pitching till once I got to college, actually. In high school, I pitched maybe 12 innings in 3 years of college or high school. Granted, the last season was canceled by COVID, so I went into college not really knowing how to pitch.
When you were growing up, was there someone specific that you tried to model your game after?
So I was a first baseman growing up, and like my favorite player of all time and still will be Mark Teixeira because I had his glove. So that's probably the guy I modeled my game after for the longest time until I started pitching.
Is there anybody now as a pitcher that you look at that is somebody you try to emulate?
I don't know about emulate, but like I see like granted pitching ninja on my hat. Like I follow him on Twitter, and I always see these lefties. And I kind of like pick at it and just look at it, especially this summer. I've been like going into detail a lot on like professional pitchers and seeing what they do and what I could do to get better. And like, I kind of just combine everything I see and try to help myself out. Because obviously I can't be exactly like all of them.
Outside of baseball, is there a specific skill you have or a fun fact that not many people may know about you?
I use this for everything, but I love playing the harmonica. I'm not really good at it. I got one. My grandma got me one when I was a little younger, and like I still play it sometimes when I'm bored, but like I'm not good at it. So it's just a fun thing to do.
Sounds like fun. Little music. You're at Rutgers.
Yep.
You know, you play Seton Hall all the time, and there's a couple of your teammates here on the Starfires, Jack Wentworth, Pat D'Amico, who played at Seton Hall. What was it like going from trying to strike those guys out during the season to now being on the same side as them?
Oh, I think the first day I got here, they were giving me stuff for them beating us this year. I mean, they kind of killed us, but like, it happens, but it's baseball. But now it's kind of fun. I mean, seeing them, they're not even from New Jersey, which is funny because, I mean, Seton Hall's like a Jersey school, and I don't really know any people outside of Jersey that go there. So seeing them, it's kind of cool because another team from Jersey team for baseball. And it's just like, now you're combining yourself when you're kind of rivals when you get on the field in college.
And you've been a very important part of what the Starfires have been doing this year on the mound. How did you become involved with the Starfires for your summer ball experience?
One of our coaches reached out to Hunter, and then I had to call Hunter, and then he set it up. And then the next thing I know, 3 days later, I was here and I started playing. I mean, it was kind of a quick turnaround for me, but I'm kind of glad it happened so far.
And you've had obviously a huge role on the team as one of our starting pitchers. You had a lot of success. I went out and got the win on Friday night up in Pittsfield. What has it meant to you to be a guy that you know the team can rely on when they need a win, they need a great start from a pitcher to be able to go out there and deliver the goods? It seems like every time you have quality outings.
That's a good feeling. I mean, knowing that I could help my team win, especially because we're in fourth place right now, trying to make a playoff push. So, like, knowing that the team trusts me to go out there and pitch a good game, it's just more confidence for me. And I think it just brings me to another level, too.
And as the season has gone on, we've talked a lot about our reliable defense and our strong offense. How important is having those things behind you for confidence and just in general when you go out on the mound?
It's huge. I mean, I'm just going to use one player, for example, Noah Campanelli. He's one of the best shortstop I've played with in a long time. He has crazy amount of range, and he's probably saved at least 20 hits for me at least. And I've given up a lot so far. So thank God he's behind me at short because he's made all the plays that I haven't seen a lot of people make in a long time. So it's pretty impressive what he could do up the middle.
Yeah, he has certainly been a fantastic part of the team. We had him on the podcast, the most recent episode. So go back and check out episode 8 if you haven't yet. But at any rate, All-Star game coming up tomorrow. You're one of 7 Starfires that are going to the game. Take us through the emotion that you went through when you got told, hey, guess what? You're a league All-Star.
Oh, it was cool. I mean, I forget what day it was. It was like last week. I show up to the field and I looked on the chalkboard inside the clubhouse and it just had my name on it. And I saw there's 6 other guys too. It was pretty cool. I mean, last year in the Hamptons, I made the All-Star game, and I didn't even know there was an All-Star game here until like 2 weeks ago. So it was kind of quick turnaround for me, but it was cool to see that I was in it, especially after coming late.
One of the things that I think is super clear among this team is just the camaraderie that you all have, and you're all so close, and the relationships that you've been building are super strong. There's 5 of you, including yourself, that will be playing for Team Goldstein tomorrow, and 2 of the 7 will be playing for Team Laura. It's such an important part of the season as we're heading towards playoffs. What is that experience going to be like playing against each other for once?
I think it'll be fun. I mean, I think it's Nichols and Power on the other team, so it's like, yeah, that's one pitcher and a catcher, but I mean, we still have 5 of us on one team, so like it'll be weird definitely at first when you see them in the other dugout, but I mean, I'll get used to it, and then hopefully we still beat them, so we have bragging rights over them.
Jackson Hornung is also going to be in the home run derby. He leads the league in home runs right now with 9. What makes him so successful as a pitcher? What makes him so successful as a hitter? What do you expect out of him in the derby tomorrow?
Oh, I think he's going to win it. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but I think he should win it. I don't see how anybody could beat him. But after watching for like how many ever weeks I've been here so far, I mean, he's got a smooth swing, and off speed or fastball, it doesn't change. It's the same swing every time. So I think that's what makes him successful. And he's got power, obviously, and he knows how to use it. So when you combine those, I'm pretty sure you could just be a good hitter. It's still not easy, but he makes it look easy at some points.
The Starfires played on Nesson last week. You were the starting pitcher. I know we all talked a little bit in passing about how you are from New Jersey. But what was that experience like, being able to showcase your skills on Nesson?
It was really funny. I mean, when they first told me that I was on Nesson, all the guys were like, "Yo, you're pitching on Nesson," and I was like, "I don't know what that is." Like, being from New Jersey, like it's not a thing in there. So they told me it was basically the Yes Network of Boston for the Red Sox. I'm like, "Oh, wait, that's actually pretty cool," even though I don't like the Red Sox. But it was a fun experience. It was really cool. I mean, there was cameras all over. I mean, it was like we were playing at Rutgers again, because that's how they do it every weekend on the Big Ten Network. Just all cameras around filming it.
So you're used to that kind of an environment. How much did it help you to be like, oh, okay, this is just another game, even though the stakes were so much higher and the attention was so much greater?
I think it definitely helped a lot. I mean, I'm used to the cameras and just filming everything we played on so this whole school year. So I mean, it wasn't anything like shocking to me. Like, we have been on TV before, so it wasn't like anything new. And I think I just kind of treated like I was pitching at school again.
The 104th Fighter Wings jerseys have been something we've talked about all season, and you were able to tour the base and learn some of the history of why the team is the Starfires and why the jersey is so important. What has being a part of that collaboration meant to you?
It's meant a lot, actually. Like, going to the base and seeing all that stuff, that was probably one of the coolest things I've done this whole summer. I mean, that was just a good experience, and I learned a lot. So, I mean, it's pretty special being a part of that too. I mean, I had no clue that Westfield was known for that. So being able to go to the base and see all of that, it was a pretty cool moment for me, especially.
You've already brought it up. It's the playoff push. We're down to the final dozen games of the regular season. Obviously, you're going to have a key role. What's going to be the biggest thing that we're going to need in these final 2 weeks to get over the line, to get into that postseason week?
I think we're going to need to pitch the ball, I think. I mean, we've pitched it well at most points this year, and we do pitch it. I don't think we lose. Our lineup's good enough so that we could have 3 of the 9 guys get 2 hits, maybe even get 1 hit and win a game 4-0. Our pitching's that good too when we put it together. I mean, that's going to be our biggest thing. If we put the pitching together, I don't see how we can't make a run in the playoffs.
What is your favorite memory from this season, or something that you've learned or picked up that you'll take back to Rutgers with you?
I think the thing I picked up the most is how baseball is supposed to be fun. I mean, last year in the Hamptons, it was fun because the guys were cool and stuff. But like, I feel like this team's a lot closer. Like, guys hang out, guys do stuff with each other, and like, I don't know, it's just all like, obviously the games are serious, but like even during the games, like everybody's joking around, like staying loose. And that's kind of what's key to being good at baseball. Like, you can't play if you're like stressing or anything, because you're not going to be good. You're at your best when you're relaxed, and I think that's helped me a lot this year.
Kyle Dombrowski took over as the manager this season. Has obviously done a fantastic job. You've also had a chance to work with Dan Rutan, who's the team's pitching coach. What's the biggest thing you've learned from each of them?
Let's see. This is going to be a good one. Dembro's just, he's like a player's coach, I'd say. He knows his stuff, but he kind of like doesn't want to interfere with you if nothing's wrong. So if you're doing right, he'll just keep you going that way. So I'd say Dembro just has taught me, like, if it's working, keep working and don't let up. And then Coach Dan's definitely another player's coach. He's definitely closer with the pitchers and a couple of the position players than Dembro is. But I don't know what I've learned from Dan yet. Dan's been there to like calm me down, I guess, and just tell me to keep going. So I think Dan has kind of just taught me to, when you feel like you're done, just keep pushing through it and get that extra boost of gas to finish an inning.
What is one thing outside of baseball that you've enjoyed thus far with your time in Westfield?
Ooh. I'm getting into golf now. I always had a pair of clubs, but like summer baseball, like last year in the Hamptons, I couldn't golf. So like I've been going to the range. I played a couple times. So like I'm trying to get good at it. I'm not great right now, but I'm getting better each day. So that's definitely something I've been doing a lot of here.
It's not just the players on the field that you've developed a good relationship with, but pretty much everybody off the field. And I know somebody that you spend a lot of time joking around with is my broadcast partner, Andrew, who does the games with me. What's been building that relationship like?
Oh, that's funny, man. Like you guys said, like there's 5 of us that are close, and like we all joke around in the back of the bus on road trips and stuff. And then the one day he came and we just beat Vermont. So it was like a big game, and everybody was up. So I figured get Andrew involved in it, and it was just fun. Everybody was joking around, and it was good for everybody because everybody was laughing, everybody was enjoying themselves, and it made the bus ride a little quicker too. So it was worth it.
It was definitely it's a long ride from Burlington back to Westfield, almost 3.5 hours. So you gotta have fun. The last one, since you brought it up, who on the team do you think is the best at Mafia and who's the worst?
Ooh. Best at Mafia. I'm gonna go with the hot take. I'm gonna go Pat D'Amico because he's always laughing. So you think he's it, and half the time he's not. And then when he is it, you think he is too. And he's so unpredictable because he laughs at everything. So it kind of makes him like, you want to get him out, but you know he might not be it, so you can't. And then worst, this is another good one. Probably Carson Walsh or Alonzo. I take it back, Alonzo. Alonzo doesn't say one word, and then when he is something, he says it's not me. But when he isn't something, he doesn't say anything at all. So he just kind of gets himself out every time.
Got to have a good poker face to play that game. Justin, appreciate you coming on the podcast. Looking forward to seeing you in the All-Star game, and looking forward to you picking up some more wins for us on the bump as we head into the final stretch of the regular season.
Thank you guys so much.
This has been another edition, episode 9 of the BullensMagic Podcast. For my co-host, Rebecca Osowski, Seth Dusselt, the voice of the Westfield Starfires. We'll see you at the All-Star game, and we'll see you on future episodes of the BullensMagic Podcast.